Everybody, Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are in the month of March in 1984, and we've got quite a lot going on. Well, coming up anyway. New people in the area, always good to see, and that's usually how the territories worked. Every couple of months, you'd get new mid-card talent through, and actually heard Jim Cornette talking about that earlier today on a podcast that I was catching up on. Anyway, so we're moving into the midpoint of March in 1984, and hopefully everything goes according to plan. Like, subscribe, comment if you enjoy this content. We are running through the entire area of World Class episodically, over 100 episodes already in the archive, and probably about 350 or so by the time we get done with everything here. But as mentioned, March 10th is where we are now. Chick Donovan versus Mike Bond. Donovan new here. Donovan actually quite an enjoyable talent to check out. He is a guy who really is more known for, I guess, Southern style. A lot of good wrestling here. Actually, shakes hand. Both men shake hands as we begin the process, and a lot of takedowns, a lot of wrestling holds by Donovan. Donovan is, I guess, to me, an underrated talent. He stays with Bond the entire time through, and really is just a guy that people can get behind. I guess he would be considered a heel in this scenario, although crowd's reacting to him a little bit better than that, I suppose. Lots of top wrist locks, arm bars, arm catches, and the like, and we do actually see that he finds his way into a crossbody and a victory, but a lot of good action if you're a indie star, and you're looking to just gain how to do holds properly. Then we move into Kelly Kiniski, the son of Gene Kiniski, who never really found his stride, but he is here, and he's with Chris Adams. Adams, of course, been perennial for the last year and a half in world-class area. And Adams has been back and forth many times, the American heavyweight champion. I don't imagine that to let up anytime soon. Again, basic match. Adams obviously going to be your star in this one, although Kiniski made to look strong enough that he's competitive with the champion/former champion, and Adams maybe losing just a little bit of steam. I think the feud with Garvin has kind of begun to run its course. A little bit of overkill on television, but that ends, or I think comes close to ending in the next 2 months or so. Kiniski, though, holding that top wrist lock. Adams always able to roll through, always able to make his way back to his feet and all of that. Then we kind of get the process going towards a more equitable match, I guess you'd say. Kiniski actually does take over midpoint of the contest and does quite well for himself, at least for a few minutes. Sunshine still on the outside for Adams, and they are still strongly pushing the feud between Garvin and Adams, and kind of, continuing that along. We then move further forward into a situation where Adams is a little bit, I don't know if I'd say necessarily fully burnt out, but definitely a guy who, with Garvin at ringside, Garvin does the posing and all that, and Garvin makes his way in, trying to distract, trying to dissuade Adams from having the match in hand, which is not in the best interest for anybody. And obviously they do battle going forward, and they come to blows again. Garvin trying to distract the man, and does at least have a partial distraction going on. And the match goes back and forth. Garvin and Adams do come to battle with each other, and actually Garvin spits at him, brings that about, and the enhancement talent gets a quick victory, a surprise victory over Adams because of that. And then we see a debuting Butch Reed against Mike Reed. No relation there. Butch Reed, of course, the hacksaw. A guy who really, for the better part of the last few years, 82, 83, parts of beginning of 84, did very well in Mid-South. Haven't seen that entire run, and that's the only part of his run, though, in matches that I really liked. I've never terribly been a Butch Reed fan, although his run with Doom in WCW in the 90s was decent. Reed never did it for me. He had a good body. I think it was the fact that he wasn't the best talker, and I couldn't get behind the character, although he did have a few matches with Flair I enjoyed. Good power by Reed, getting the advantage going to his direction, and he manages to really dominate his opponent. Obviously setting him up, I assume, for the Von Erichs here, even in the early stages of things, although the integration into the main product is slower than he might have liked. I think he wanted to come in and be, a major deal. Shoulder tackle is what the final move of the match for him is. Then we move to Michael Hayes talking about Bad Street, talking about the music video, talking about everything going on with that, and also how other teams are trying to steal from them, copy them, whatever have you. Then we move into the latest chapter in the Freebirds Von Erich feud, which in this case happens to be Kevin against Terry Gordy. We've seen this a bazillion times, it seems like, although, again, this is coming to a close in the next month or two, as the Freebirds do have a small cup of coffee in the WWF literally less than a month. I believe that was either in April or May, so, that's there. So they are finishing up here. But you don't have a hint of that watching this match. Obviously, they know each other very well, and since the passing of David, Mike has moved into a more prominent role. Kevin out of the way, or Gordy out of the way from a hard tackle attempt in the corner, and ultimately goes in the direction of Gordy wearing him down with a sleeper reverse choke type maneuver. Kevin comes back to his feet. A lot of stalling in this match, actually, believe it or not. As it's almost as if they have, I don't want to say exhausted everything they know how to do, but certainly, the claw and then bear hugs and chokes and all of that is the majority of this match. Not as much bumping around as normal, not as much chaos, no contest as ripping the wrestlers apart. The entire locker room empties out for that. But we will close with that, and we move to the midpoint of March in 1984 here in World Class